What is up, future cryptillionaires, aka future cryptocurrency millionaires? Today is Sunday, October 14th, 2018. So we have quite a bit of news to go over today in this video, and contrary to the last video that I did, which was unfortunately kind of focused on who they call Dr. Doom, this one is a lot more positive and there's a lot more optimism. So I want to start off with this article here. So before we get into it though, South Korea, Japan, and US are kind of on the forefront in many ways of the cryptocurrency market as well. I mean, mainly in regards to volume, that's where most of it is coming from in regards to cryptocurrency. So because I think according to the analytics, like 66% of the people that watch these videos, which is overwhelmingly the majority, I think the next highest is maybe like 6%, which is like Australia or the UK. Most of the people that watch these videos are from the US. So I just want to point out how cool it is that the US is really at the forefront of pioneering the adoption of this technology. So far, we've heard things from both sides, both good and bad, from government. However, I mean, to be totally honest, most of it has been very, very positive. If there was something very negative, I think we'd be talking about that every day. But the reason we don't is because there has not been, knock on wood, a crackdown or any type of thing on cryptocurrency. And again, even if there would be, you know, it's a worldwide thing, so it's not like the U.S. would have much power to do anything anyway. That's the power of decentralization. And to be honest, if they could kill crypto, it would be dead. But why investors are highly optimistic in acquisition of Korea's largest crypto exchange is the title of this first article that I want to jump into here. So on October 12th, CCN, which is this website that I'm reading from right now, reported BK Global Consortium, the parent company of Singapore-based BK Medical Group, had acquired a 50% stake in Bithumb, South Korea's largest cryptocurrency exchange. Now, many of you might not be familiar with Bithumb because it's not a US exchange. However, it's a huge exchange by volume, and in South Korea, it is the largest crypto exchange, as it says here. Essentially, a prominent plastic surgeon finalized a deal between BK and Bithumb, officially acquiring the leading crypto trading platform at a valuation of $350 million. So why is this a good thing? This is optimistic for South Korean investors, and in turn, which will lead to just better sentiment in the market in general, because now every major cryptocurrency exchange in South Korea is operated by large-scale conglomerates. And mainly, the reason they cite this as a good thing is because there have been successful hacks and problems with Korean exchanges in the past, and this is probably the best step taken to prevent something like that. Which security and investor protection, which goes along with this theme all year of new institutional investors getting in, is really the next step in terms of cryptocurrency, whether we like it or not. Institutions are getting involved. And so with that, you need security and you need investor protection. And again, it even states here it will help legitimize the crypto exchange market of South Korea. And really, that's been the story of 2018. Institutional investment and the legitimization of cryptocurrency, so the institutional investment can continue, so the institutional investors feel safe, so they're taken care of. But it says, it ends the article here, what investors can expect next, that Binance and Upbit have recently announced plans to expand the crypto exchange market of Singapore, and that is expected to happen in the next few months. Then we have here this article titled Bitcoin Opinion. This is the quiet before the storm. So I'm not going to cover this entire article. Again, all of these are going to be posted as always at the top of the description in this video if you do want to read this. As you can see, this is very long. I could probably do an entire video on this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try and do it in like a minute. Mainly the takeaway I want to do with this is more of an opinion that is a quiet before the storm, that Bitcoin is going to rebound soon, as well as all of cryptocurrency is going to rebound soon. I think that's very possible, but I'm more, again, along the lines of a mid to long-term outlook on this. So I think it's possible that we do see downside for more months. I think it's possible that we do see maybe even just sideways trading, not necessarily downside in terms of the price. But it's possible that this could take another 6 months, a year, 2 years even. And I think that's the mindset you should go into it with. And like I've said before, if we get surprised and next month Bitcoin jumps up to 10,000 and then 15,000 the following month, then we'd be pleasantly surprised instead of expecting it. So what I'm expecting is, again, a mid to long-term play. Let's say 2 to 3 years out, let's say even 5 years out in terms of prices really, really getting up there. But this article is more of the opinion that it could be soon. And it's a good article that actually makes a lot of good points. Again, they have a lot of good key points here. The main thing I just want to show for the purpose of this video is just the cryptocurrency market cap. We've seen this before and I've shown this in videos before, but I just really do like it. And I think it's very eye-opening, and I think it's something people like looking at. I mean, I definitely do. This is cryptocurrency's market cap. Here is silver. And then you can see it compared to the biggest companies in the world, as well as the 50 richest people in the world, California's GDP, the Fed's balance sheet, currency, gold, and then stock markets. So really, cryptocurrency is just an infant, just being born essentially in terms of its lifespan. It is so, so small. In my opinion, that obviously just gives there so much more room for a lot of upside. And again, this is a really good article, has a lot of other points as well, and it's very optimistic as opposed to a lot of other articles that have been posted recently. So if you're looking for some healthy optimism, this will be the second one posted. I post them in order in my description as well that I read them. So if you just want to check the description, if you want to read this one. According to this article, cryptocurrency sentiment, market sentiment is looking up according to Huobi Research. So what I really like about this article, just to sum it up, first of all, overall market sentiment clocked in at 71 out of a maximum 100, representing a 2% increase over last month. But what I really think is important, not necessarily is the overall market sentiment, but there is also short-term, mid-term, and then long-term market sentiment surveys and percentages. What I really like is I can just skip down to this paragraph here. Despite an increase in positive sentiment about short-term and mid-term movements, the long-term index actually is much higher, around 90% as opposed to like the 70-80%. So basically all that means is that long term people are betting very heavily that this is going to go up. And I mean really that's what matters the most, is that whether or not we have to wait 2 months, 2 years, 5, 10 years, the point is that this technology is here to stay and this revolution is valid, which we all, I think I can speak for many people watching, we all believe that. And again, that's just evidence from this survey here conducted by Huobi Research. Again, it's a very short article if you want to check it out. So the other day I covered the Dr. Doom figure who was very negative on crypto. Now we have CFTC Chairman Christopher Giancarlo here, who we all know is a friend of cryptocurrency. He's been outspoken. Back in February of this year, he came out in support of cryptocurrency. But this article is titled "Bitcoin Futures Helped Crypto Achieve a More Sustainable Level." So this is really just about the futures that was introduced towards the end of last year. I think it did play a huge role in getting Bitcoin to 20,000 US dollars, in getting people in the mainstream media and people mainstream somewhat interested and at least aware of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Still, if I'm talking to random people about crypto, which I do very often, I love bringing up the topic. I bring up crypto in any way, they always, like literally 99% of the people ask what crypto is. But if I say, do you know about Bitcoin? Everybody knows, essentially. Everybody says, oh yeah, I've heard about Bitcoin. But really nobody's even heard of the term crypto. So that just gives you another sense of like people outside of the crypto community, how new all of this technology is, how much again, how much room there is to grow. It's essentially, it's just mind blowing how much upside, in my opinion, there is, simply based on how small it is in terms of its market cap, as well as just the mainstream awareness of it, which again is still very, very low, not to mention how little people are involved, how low of a percentage of human beings in this world are involved. Very, very low. And that's not to even get into how great and revolutionary this technology can be, and I think will be. So again, I think we have a lot of things working on our side here. Yeah, he just makes the point here that the Bitcoin's futures help to potentially stabilize the prices. So it definitely rose the price of Bitcoin. People got insanely hype about Bitcoin futures being implemented towards the end of last year. I was watching a lot of YouTube back then, and a lot of creators on YouTube in particular, and a lot of creators on YouTube were saying, oh, this is going to be crazy. This will make the price of Bitcoin skyrocket. Again, it did. But what we've also seen this year is, the pattern that we've seen throughout the entire 2018, which could be due to manipulation. It could be due to people being able to short Bitcoin now. Whatever the case may be, Giancarlo is saying long term, at least for now, this made it a sustainable level. And I don't think the fact that it is now, or has been for the entirety of 2018, been able to be manipulated more, I don't think at all it will have an impact on the long-term future of Bitcoin and the longevity of it, as well as other cryptocurrencies. And again, this is almost like a necessary evil. You get a little prize at first, and that initial prize is the fact that Bitcoin went up to $20,000 and the entire market cap almost touched $1 trillion of all cryptocurrency. But the downside being what we've seen all of 2018 in terms of the price. But that is not to say at all that it will have a long-lasting effect. And essentially, yeah, this article just says, it talks about Bitcoin kind of finding some stability and some lessened volatility. And again, guys, that's truly, we've seen much, much less volatility recently, despite a big $200 drop, which is very insignificant in my opinion anyway. Things are still looking great, and I think it's important, to recognize not only do we have enemies, like Dr. Doom here, but we do have friends in government, and we do have friends in high places like the CFTC Chairman. So it's not all doom and gloom. There's plenty of people supporting cryptocurrency, and I truly believe every single day there are more and more people supporting cryptocurrency. It's only a matter of time. Think back 2 or 3 years ago. How many of you were involved in crypto? I can honestly say I was not. My roommate back in 2014, very intelligent guy, and I should have listened to him. I actually did look into it a little bit back when he told me about it in 2014. I didn't invest back then. I definitely should have, my college roommate. But shout out to you, Evan, if you're out there. I really doubt you're watching this video, but if you are, shout out to Evan. And yeah, my point being, if you look back to 2014 to now, so many more people have heard of it. So many more people have invested in it, and the market has grown so much. Yet still, percentage-wise, it has barely even gotten started. So I think that's the pattern we're going to follow. I don't see any reason why it would change. And again, guys, if the government could shut it down, if it was centralized, if somebody could just go into the offices of Bitcoin, if somebody could just go into the offices of cryptocurrency and shut it down, I guarantee the Fed or the government would do that, but they cannot because this technology was created so that they cannot do that. And again, talking about some people positive. So ex-Goldman Sachs president Gary Cohn joins blockchain startup. So the only thing I want to say about this, I want to start off by saying he's not a fan of Bitcoin in particular or a lot of other cryptocurrencies, but is a fan of blockchain, which is an idea we see a lot of the time. And I'm very confused by it because blockchain and Bitcoin are, at least they don't seem very able to be divided. They're kind of one and the same, but we do see that a lot. Like we hear people say, I like blockchain, but I don't like Bitcoin, or I think blockchain is useful, but Bitcoin is not. So I don't really want to go any deeper into that, but yeah, somebody very, very high up in charge or previously in charge of an institution that plays a critical role in finance is interested in blockchain, and he's in this space. Whether or not he in particular doesn't like Bitcoin or maybe another cryptocurrency, he recognizes the value of this space. And that's what we're seeing more and more of. Institutional investors, institutions, CEOs, ex-CEOs, this space is just growing and growing with them, and people see the opportunity here. And yeah, it's extremely exciting. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode today, guys. Hope everyone has a great Sunday. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.